Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. This is a daily, and of course we're gonna dive deeper in the structure, guys, because it's very important to analyze the structure here deeply, if it is a bullish structure or bearish. Much more potential, of course, because always we have two possibilities here. I just want to mention also that this is the last day I will be updating here for the next 10 days because I will be in a trip. I will be only available, of course, on Discord. If you would like to have a membership, of course, you're very welcome to our community. I will be available once per day, of course, for the next day to cover your requests and questions. So basically what we have here in Bitcoin in this very low time frame here on the 15-minute chart, we have, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that's why I put my count exactly finished over there, knowing that the low has been taken after. Now, because you have 1, 2, 3, wave 4 did not interfere with zone 1, you have your wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, you finished over there somehow. And of course, you're looking here for something as 3 ways toward the downside. Now, if your wave 5 finished even in this low, it's fine. It can be, of course. And of course, you can be here in a 3 ways up, 3 ways down, and you're looking at something here kind of like wave C, or it can be even in another very complex structure, but I prefer to call it, of course, a wave C here, as a 3 ways up, 3 ways down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, ending diagonal somehow for this potential scenario. Now, in case that we are still looking at something very corrective after it, yeah, I mean, it's very obvious that it might be very corrective. And that because, of course, if we want to take it here as an ABC, can be W, X, and a Y, a complex structure, of course, here that we are talking about it. There is no way to be here a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then having big 1, 2, and then dropping down. So the scenario for bullish here has already failed kind of from the beginning. Now, if some of you will say, okay, we didn't finish there, we finished there because this is a low. All right, I'm going with you. Let's say we bottomed from there, and you don't want to count here as kind of like expanding flat or WX and a Y. We start from the bottom here. Let's say this is your 1, 2, and then 1, 2 again, and then 1, 2. Why I'm calling 1, 2 and not leading diagonal here as a 1 ABC wave 2? Because if you take the fib levels here, let's take it from the highest, and you take it, you will see the 1 to 1 fib level has been hit, meaning wave 5 here is longer than your wave 3. This is not a leading diagonal. This is, of course, something very corrective. It can be here a potential A, it can be a wave B, and it can be kind of like a wave C, or I prefer, again, W, X, and a Y, very complex structure, because you have kind of like a zigzag A, B, and a C. You finish there, and then you get another structure, which it can be, of course, your wave X, and then having another zigzag towards the upside here as a W. So it's a very, very complex structure, guys, and nothing is impulsive in it. Unless, of course, if you want to consider it again, wave A here, and then having a wave B, and okay, this is your wave C. Let's say this is happening. Let's say this is your zigzag as W, which is much more likely, I would say. Then you got, of course, a X. Right, and X here, you got an A, B, and a C, as you can see here. It's an impulse correction, and of course another diagonal, or even 3 ways downward, which is very, very corrective again. And it shows how much this structure is very, very complex, right? And when you see such a complex structure, you are definitely much more corrective than a bullish. Now let's continue after it, just to prove it, guys, till the maximum here. Let's say this structure is a 1, 2. If you are in a wave 1 here, you would like to see, of course, an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, the wave 4 invalidation. If you are in 1, 2, 1, 2, whereas your wave 3, 4, and a 5. If you are in triple 1, 2 here, the third 1, 2, it took the low. Meaning the only scenario left for you to be bullish here can be a 1, 2, 1, and ABC wave 2 taking the 8, 8, 6, which is very, very low possibility to be impulsive here. However, let's say this is your impulse unfolding after 1, 2, and then 1, 2 here. You have a 1 2 1 2 3 4 and a 5. This is a wave 3 4 and a 5. Now your wave 5 might be unfolding here as a 1 2, and then yesterday we got, of course, after the news, a very choppy price action here, showing a lot of consolidation and of course confusion at the same time, which it can be here, can be of course 1 2 and then another 1 2 somehow. Okay, another 1 2 somehow, but I don't like it because it looks like a triangle definitely here. In case that it is in a 1 and you have a triangle here with it, and then 1 2 3 4 and a 5, wave 2 is not allowed to be a triangle. If this is a wave 1 2, definitely this is a triangle and you're not allowed to be a wave 2. You are in a wave B, meaning very likely that you are in an ABC again over there. And that means if you are in ABC here, you might be also in a different scenario here, kind of like potential. This is your X in between. You can be here also in an A, B, and a C. Yeah, so you have 1 2 3 4 and a 5 for the wave C, A, B, and a C. Then you got your X here, and then you got another zigzag toward the upside, meaning also finishing in a very corrective wave here so far, despite of course the impulses, because they are the wave C here. Now also this structure is very tricky here, and you cannot really consider it of course as a double 1 2 here. If we dive a little bit inside it, so let's see. Okay, if we have here a potential several 1 2s here, you have 3 4 and a 5, a 4 and a 5, you finish here in 3 ways again. So you have to consider probably kind of like this is corrective, and if this is your impulse 1 2 3 4 and a 5, well, even this wave 5 is looking 3 waves toward the upside. Very unclear and very suspicious again. If we take this wave right now, if we take a look here at 1 2 3 4 and a 5, that's totally fine. Okay, this is a fine impulse where you see, of course, 1 2 3 4 5 for wave 3 4 and a 5, which it looks impulsive. So that is totally fine. But here is followed, of course, again with 3 ways down, and then you get kind of like an impulse here as a 1 2 3 4 and a 5, and then you take the low again, which is of course definitely turned into WX and a Y, and you move downward potentially here as an expanding flat. So if you are again 1 2 and then another 1 2, this might be of course a little bit for higher prices. And if you are here of course looking for something like a bullish scenario or higher prices here after 1 2 and a 1 2, okay, let's say this is your wave 3 4 and a 5. Well, I don't see yet of course finished. You might be a 1 2 1 2 3 4 and a 5, meaning if you are bullish still here and you're looking for higher, if you take this price here, this is an invalidation of bullish. Okay, so we are looking here at a potential 114k. It can be of course looking for higher to finish simply this structure, because you might be in a 1 2 1 2 here, and you got of course a wave 3 4 and a 5 probably still need to be finished, probably even one more 4 and a 5. But let's say this is gonna finish somehow like that inside the blue box, or the next blue box between the 0.618 0.786 for a Bitcoin here, and it's gonna finish this potential wave 2 there. Yeah, so in double 1 2 here, and that because you got kind of like an A B C, and then okay, this might be your A, B, and a C toward the upside. Even I'm not really convinced with it, and that because of course I think that this is gonna turn to 3 waves, and it should finish here in 3 waves, and simply this is the X. And that because of the complexity, of course, as you might have seen inside it, nothing is showing impulsive structure here, even in this one right now. And especially, of course, internally, we saw, of course, here a potential wave 2 as a triangle. So, guys, the price action is not showing a really nice pattern for bullish, I would say. It doesn't mean that you cannot move for higher. It can move for higher, even it can move to this blue box, which is the next one, as we mention always. And if we fail this, if we fail it, then okay, we start to call highest possibility to move for higher here. okay? But currently we are still very, very corrective in this area, very corrective and very complex, while of course the downtrend from there, from this area here, is very, very clear 5-wave structure. How much easy is that to define and to declare it in comparison with this structure? This structure is very, very complex and of course unclear, right? We end already looking like, of course, a 3-wave structure there. So basically, I would say even if we take here the next step price action, because of course, if I'm taking this WX and a Y, and if I take it, let's say from there, you can see that we hit exactly the 1-to-1 fib level, which is 116K. And actually, this might be the right target here to be hit after, of course, a W, X, and a Y. Because after this, we start to see clarity that this might be your W and not this one. Because it is an A, B, and a C potential zigzag here. A, B, C, and then X, and then another A, B, C. So yeah, those are the possibilities right now, guys. I don't see really a clear impulsive wave in this one. Now, if the things are going to be bullish like crazy just by influence and so on, I still believe it can move for higher. But at the end, this is not going to turn into a very, very bullish scenario. Okay, you can see higher prices, but not, of course, a bullish scenario. And when you say bullish scenario, we are talking here about something very, very high. You're going to take the all-time high minimum and even, of course, higher and moving impulsively. This is bullish, okay? I don't see this. I see a corrective wave that it might, of course, reverse at any time from this area for Bitcoin, and especially that you are already directed downward, meaning the market direction right now is, of course, toward the downside. You have the 5 clear waves downside, and of course followed by 3 waves toward the upside. Very complex and very unclear structure. And that means, of course, there are 2 possibilities again, of course, here. Now, okay, now you say I'm super bearish. I'm not bearish, guys, yet, because of course you still have a potential here. First, the scenario that you might still have, that I always mention, having higher prices from this blue box, which it has been hit already, and you have an ABC here, and to be finished as kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so if this is your wave 1 here and wave 2, I doubt it a little bit. So your wave 1 has to be from there, by the way, because of course this is your expanding flat here, and you have 5 waves down. Okay, finished wave C. And then you start, of course, in a wave. Yeah, you would like to see here a zigzag, since you are in a zigzag already. So you would like to see a zigzag toward the upside. However, a zigzag toward the upside requires the same, right? Requires the same impulse, correction impulse, right? We don't see this yet. We see, in case you are very bullish, you are in double 1, 2, but I don't find any reason to be in double 1, 2 here, meaning, of course, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And being in double 1, 2 from here is a little bit, of course, weird. Because, of course, if you are here in a potential A, B, and a C toward the upside, of course, you might be in this potential ending diagonal, but you need a clear price. And if you are bullish, let's say we are very bullish here, and this is a big wave 1, 2, and you are in a big wave 3, 4, 5 toward the upside, meaning you have to count this also a 1, 2. How can you count this wave as a wave 1? So the problem with it, now you'll tell me, yeah, we can count it. So if you are in 1, 2 here, your wave 2 is a triangle, which is not allowed to be a wave 2. It is only a wave B. Second thing is that you didn't reach the minimum requirement for wave 2. Let's say it is a 1, 2. Your wave 3 is very, very short in, of course, comparison with your wave 5 and your wave 1, which is not allowed to be, of course, an impulse. Second, if you count this as double 1, 2 or triple 1, 2, you can't. Yeah, you took the low. What else? I mean, there is no possibility here to be in an impulse. It is definitely a double zigzag again with the waves B as a triangles, and of course you got the wave X in between. Therefore, it is a three waves towards the upside, which is a wave A here or a wave W, right? And after three waves up here, you got, of course, three waves down, and you have finished here kind of an impulse upward, and we start, of course, this five waves downward. And that means, of course, you have finished here potential wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this is a very deep, of course, analysis here for the micro level, guys. And I'm explaining why I'm convinced that this structure is not yet, of course, ready to be very bullish. It can look for higher just to finish the wave C's inside it, okay? So this is what I mean. And in case that you are bullish and you're looking for higher, okay, that is a scenario here that it might be, of course, in an ending diagonal, which it might, of course, finish up a wave V again and then moving for lower. Now, if we move for lower a little bit, you might still be bullish from there. Now, this is a bullish scenario that you might be really bullish from there. So, I don't know, every time I mention this and everyone says, okay, I'm super bearish. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Wave 4, for an ending diagonal, of course, we're talking here about your bullish scenario as a bull run. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 5 is finishing as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, you cannot finish a wave 4 over there. Okay, you cannot finish it like this as diagonal. First, because, of course, the first wave here is impulsive. You need, of course, a zigzag anyway to move downward. And you need, of course, to reach the minimum requirement FIB level as well for this wave 4. Meaning you need an ABC here. Okay, so we need this area, the 100K, before you move for a wave 5 towards the upside in case we are looking for this area. So the maximum bullish scenario here that you might still have after getting, of course, the 100K in a wave 4, you might get a wave 5 around the 135K or 147K can be possible, of course, in case it wants to be very impulsive. Okay. So this is the bullish scenario that you might have, and before getting to this, you need, of course, this wave C toward the downside. Next possibility, which is, of course, the main scenario here as bearish, and this is where you say I'm super bearish. Well, of course, because I have to be here bearish, much more potential, first because you finished 5 waves. It's very clear that we finished an impulse, and when you finish an impulse, you need a correction. Okay, and this correction was not really enough, and obviously that this is not really impulsive anymore. We already analyzed it there. So if we are in a wave 1, we are in a wave 2, we need 3 waves structure, and this might be, of course, your ABC, which is a perfect wave 2 here for, of course, a bear market, which it might start a new bullish market at a wave 3 toward the upside. So for the people also that who's like, I want to be bullish right now, it's just your greed, buddy. It's just your greed. You are a greedy person because you want simply just a little bit few higher prices, which it can finish a bull run over there as a wave 1, and then you will suffer for new 2 years towards the downside, which with unclear pattern yet, because it might be a very aggressive zigzag after it. Then, of course, just wait for 2 years again. While you don't understand that in this scenario, for example, when you are in a wave 1, you have finished already your bearish market, more than half of it, and you still have one single move towards the upside and clear pattern and clear target for your bear market, and from where you launch again for a 300K, which is a very considerable area, by the way, 67 and 75K for Bitcoin as a bearish market in an expanding flat, getting even chance for higher prices already, and then moving just for a few months, and then moving upward again for a new bull run towards the 200, 250K. So if you're still looking for a little bit higher here, just to end up a bullish scenario and finishing a wave 1, you are just a greedy person because you think about now, but you don't think, of course, about the next months and the future of the next bull run. Sorry to say this, but yeah, I mean, just be wise a little bit here with with your suggestion, and especially of course that even the price action, it doesn't show it. So the price action is favoring the lower prices, not the bearish, the lower prices, because you might still be in an ABC as explained. So I had, of course, a very deep analysis today, and of course, just to explain what is going on, what is my opinion about this, because this video also will be probably the last for Bitcoin for the next 10 days. And of course, it clarifies clearly, of course, my opinion and why I'm still, of course, not looking for higher here as bullish. I'm still, of course, looking for low. And again, guys, it's a tip, not an advice, but not every time you see a little bit of red of green in Bitcoin means that we are in a bull run. Calm down a little bit, especially with the comments. Okay, like every time you see a little bit green, you come up with the comments like, "Oh, it's bullish. You're stupid. You're calling bearish." So calm down a little bit. That's it. You can be corrective toward the upside. Put it in mind sometimes. Okay, keep it in mind that there is a possibility you can be corrective upward. Okay, it can be possible that you reversed here. And it can be, of course, a very clear 5 ways down and you are in 3 ways up. All right? Thank you. That was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.